Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin with my review of WWE NXT, and this was an odd show. There were three pretty good tournament matches. Well, tournament matches of varying quality. I'll get into what I mean in a little bit. And this did have one advantage over Dynamite in that it had actual women's matches. It didn't just have women, involved in like the main event and a couple weird things. It actually involved the women in matches, so that was nice. But it ended oddly and also began oddly, and it was just weird. Something about the show didn't quite set right, but that doesn't mean that it was all bad. Anyway, we start off with an incident that apparently happened where Balor's stuff was thrown all over the place and he was nowhere to be found. Either his wife stole him or Walter ate him. I don't know what the fuck happened, but the match that was supposed to be Velveteen versus Balor got removed. Okay, no explanation, no reason why. Maybe Balor was like, nah, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go under the assumption that Walter did eat him, though. Just for right now. That's going to be my go-to answer, is that a wrestler just ate somebody. Because it's the old Lucha Underground thing. They actually had a wrestler that ate people. This was a thing that actually happened on a wrestling program. But anyway, here's Velveteen Dream. He mocks Adam Cole. And he mocks Finn Balor. But here's Adam Cole suddenly showing up. And then the Era attacks. Well, minus O'Reilly because he has diabetes and he is staying away due to this pandemic, which makes sense. He's got to take care of himself, and that is totally fine. And then Keith Lee shows up and evens the odds because Keith Lee is enough to be three people just with how strong he is and with how big he is. And the fact that, sweet Christ, how does somebody that big move that well? So we're going to get a tag match later in some instance. I mean, you'll see what I mean. We had Shotzi Blackheart with the tank. The tankless task that she had, thankfully, meant that she actually had a tank here. That made no sense. I really don't care. It was her and Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And look, this was fine. It was... Raquel has a long way to go. She does. She does have a good presence as far as being an enforcer, and Dakota did carry most of this. Raquel was there for a couple nice double teams, including a spot where she got Dakota onto the apron for a nice kick spot. It wasn't that bad. I mean, Shotzi and Tegan had a good showing, but in the end, Raquel hit a one-arm powerbomb and pinned Shotzi 1, 2, 3. So not bad. Not bad. I mean, I don't know how I feel totally about, how they're booking the women's division, but if they're trying to give them other feuds than what's just going on in the championship picture, I'm all for it. I just hope that they can keep this Tegan Dakota feud going for a while because they got some legs here. And I mean, which is ironic for a feud built around 2 knee surgeries. But hopefully they can have it where maybe, they just have an ultimate blow off match. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe they're going to build it to War Games. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what they do with War Games, depending on how everything goes for the next number of months. So we get a Drake Maverick and Jake Atlas video package. This was nice. Drake, who'd recently been fired, but they're turning it into a storyline, so I think he was secretly rehired. If he wasn't, it's a pretty dick thing to do, having him cut these promos and everything, saying he has to win if they have no intention of keeping him. So I think it's a storyline. But it's a very good storyline, and Jake Atlas wants to be an inspiration to people. Openly gay wrestler, and good on him. Be who you are. Be true to yourself. That's really what matters. And if he can be an inspiration, great. Jake Atlas versus Drake Maverick. It was an interim cruiserweight championship tournament match, and this was good. It was good pacing by both guys. Atlas felt like he had to win, and Drake was really, really motivated, very aggressive. Very nice strikes. He hit a variation of Tequila Sunrise. Drake did, but Atlas managed to get away. Drake did a nice dive, but in the end, it was a nice cartwheel DDT off the ropes. 1, 2, 3, and Drake loses. And since it's a round robin tournament, Drake basically is going to have to win out and then hope that, hope he can get the tiebreaker. All this is going to be it's going to be a weird round robin thing. They're trying to kind of be like, New Japan was with their Best of Super Juniors thing. But anyway, good match, good for what it was. We get Damian Priest with that movie trailer, quality voice. I mean, really, he has a great voice, great promo, talks about wanting a shot at Keith Lee, and he wants his name to live forever. Good stuff. Kushida versus Tony Nese. This was about on par with the first cruiserweight tournament match that they had. This was better. This was better than the next one that would happen. I like Kushida, really like Kushida. I like Tony Nese. I think Tony Nese is very good. I think he's very underappreciated. At least they're finally using Kushida. Fucking Christ, they've had him for over a goddamn year. Anyway, I like the mix of styles. Nice is tossing Kushida into the guardrail. Very nice strikes and very nice 450 by Nice. And then the Sakaruba lock, or however the hell, whatever the hell they're calling it. I'm just going to call it the hoverboard lock. That's what it is. It's the fucking hoverboard lock. And he got the tap out on Tony, which makes sense. Kushida winning was the right call. And nothing against Nice. I like Nice. But Kushida had to win here. And I'm just going to call it with the hoverboard lock because that's what it was. We then get Riddle talking to Timothy Thatcher, saying, your blue eyes remind me of Pete Dunne's. And he says, my eyes are brown. And, Riddle, how high was Riddle during this? How high was he during this? Or is he just always that aloof? Is he just always blissfully unaware of his surroundings? The answer is yes. So anyway, a great athlete, but very unaware of his surroundings. We then get a video package of Cross and Scarlett and Ciampa being, beat up. Okay, TikTok. Cross is coming. Gross. We then get Gargano and Candice speaking. This was one of the worst things that I have seen on NXT TV in a while. Because they mentioned at one point the definition of insanity. Because they tried to be the nice people and they tried to do the right thing and everything and didn't get them anywhere. Okay, cool. They kept doing these weird cuts with like this black and white, so it's supposed to make them look evil and everything. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. It's like them pushing Gargano as a heel or trying to make him have any personality and thinking, this'll stick, and Gargano seems like a likable guy. He really does. And he is a hell of a worker. I don't know if he's the best wrestler that they have, but he has delivered some really good performances. He is goddamn good. He is also about as interesting as a piece of white bread. Speaking of white bread, you have Candice there. And they already had made it where she was Gargano's wife and all this, and they had a chance to go away from it, and then they turned her heel and aligned her with Gargano. So now anything that they try to do of making her, this bubbly type, or even turning her heel and having her just go after some of the women that she felt wronged against. No, now she's just Gargano's wife. Now they're a power couple. And they're a power couple of two uninteresting people. And it's not that they aren't good performers, but I just don't fucking care. Here are some lines during this. Gargano says, we are not living in a fairy tale. And his cup was on the goddamn dinner table, the cup that he wore that Candice handed him. Because, that's exactly what we needed. We needed to see his athletic support right there. And tired of saying yes to everything and, underappreciation in the NXT universe. And Candice saying, I put the women before me. I put the other women before me. Oh, they'll come around. They'll do this. It's like, I ate second, so they could all eat first. It's like, I'm not going to eat second anymore. Well, Candice, if your cooking is anything like your promos, Johnny's going to be ordering takeout because that was bland as my fucking God, that was bland. Fucking hell. I mean, this is why when you script people, it's a bad idea. Or God forbid if they didn't script and they just let them come up with this. If they came up with that, then script these two because that was fucking rotten. This didn't make me any more interested in Gargano or Candice. And I don't care if that comment gets me any hate because I can make this as uncomfortable as possible. Candice is a good athlete. A great athlete even. Same with Gargano. But what the fuck was this? Oh boy, they're an angry couple. They're tired of doing things the right way or anything. Gargano hit his glass ceiling 2 years ago. Well, he hit it when he beat Cole for the championship, I would say. And Candice is somebody that is never going to be a champion in NXT or on Raw or SmackDown. I'm sorry, she is mid-card at best because if turning her heel and this is the most interesting thing she can produce, and this is something that was, produced like, cinematically, then this is fucked. This is fucked already. What are we going to have them do? Feud with another couple? Are they going to feud with Cross and Scarlett at some point? I got nothing against Cross and Scarlett, but I have no desire to watch that. Seriously, this is the best thing they could do. Anyway, I'm done dumping on this. Let's get Io Shirai talking about beating Charlotte. For the love of motherfucking God, have Io beat Charlotte. And Drake is upset, saying he's fighting his opponent and himself. Maybe everybody was right about him. I really hope this is a storyline. I really hope they do give Drake a chance. Drake is really goddamn good. I didn't want to see anybody lose their job. But if they're going to find a way to work this stuff back in, especially, and this is just a little sidebar really quickly. So you got Rob Gronkowski, who was a 24/7 champion, hosted WrestleMania because that was money well spent. And if WWE spent money to bring him in and had to cut people because of that, and also the stuff with Cain Velasquez and Tyson Fury, paying them uncomfortable amounts of money, especially Tyson Fury. I don't know, maybe you put it towards anti-gay, charities or whatever, that because he hates gay people so goddamn much, and he's really not fond of women either. Have you seen some of the stuff he said? I don't care if it was a few years ago. I don't think he's shown much of an ability to change. But anyway, I digress on that. WWE spent all this money, all this insane amount of money, and then had to can a whole bunch of people. Some that they weren't using all that much, so maybe it was just money off the books, and it was releases that might have happened. But Drake Maverick, somebody that they actually could have used pretty damn well. If they are turning it into a storyline and will actually use him well, good. If this is a way to just, oh, we're going to, make it like a redemption storyline and we're just going to bury him, well, then that's fucking stupid, and he's got every right to go somewhere else when this whole thing clears up and he gets to, wrestle and show what the fuck he can do. Then, speaking of stuff I wasn't interested in, Mia Yim, and I'm sorry, Mia Yim, she's got a good story. She has, she's built herself. Well, I don't care. I just don't care, because watching her in the ring, I know she had that leg injury and she had to change up her style. I don't find her interesting. It's not that she's not a good athlete. I just don't think she's that good in the ring. However, Jessi Kamea, I almost called her Jessi Chimera, and now I want to see her ride a Chimera, if you know what a Chimera is. Anyway, you know what? Enough of the mythology there. She was like this nerdy pinup type girl gimmick before. I mean, she'd been on NXT TV a little bit, mainly wrestling house shows. They gave her a darker look, a bit more of an aggressive style. If this is what they're going to do with her, I was impressed. She obviously has improved in the ring, has not been wrestling all that long, I believe only a few years, and hasn't been given a ton of stuff to do. Her and Mia worked a nice match. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was at least nice and showcased what Jessi could do, while giving Mia a quality win. There was a nice, spin kick that Jessi hit. So Jessi impressed me here, and I would like to see what else she can do. So Mia did hit an STO, and then the knee to face, protect your neck. Need to face. Just trying to do Nakamura there, and I realized I sound like a New Yorker trying to do, or not even a New Yorker, so like somebody trying to do a bad East Coast accent while also trying to do a Japanese accent. So I apologize to every culture I offended. Here's Charlotte. She wants to face Mia because she said, well, you helped put me on the map in NXT and I want to get back, and you're a good hand, and, I can help make you. Get the motherfucking title off of Charlotte and onto somebody interesting, for God's sakes. God damn it. I don't find Charlotte interesting. I don't know who does. If you do, fine. We then get Chelsea Green and Robert Stone. We're going to reload and push forward. This isn't working. And I got Chelsea, I don't know what Chelsea Green's gimmick is, but apparently she has no gimmick. And Robert Stone, who is fine as a talker, this isn't working. This is bad. This is really bad. I want managers to come back. This ain't working. And then we get Jack Gallagher, a.k.a. the discount Conor McGregor here. And I like Jack Gallagher, and he is a better person than Conor McGregor, no doubt. But I know that he changed his look a while ago. But this is them trying to create their own Conor McGregor, and he's a good athlete, but he took on El Hijo del Fantasma, King Cuerno. It's a tournament match. This was the least interesting of the matches for the tournament that they've had so far, and that's not to say that something about this just didn't work. The style was fine. They had some good exchanges, but in the end, it was a Samoan driver that pinned Gallagher 1, 2, 3. Cool. Okay, whatever. And then we get Flair versus Yim next week. Priest versus Lee next week for the title. And then we get the weird kidnapping thing where they try to kidnap Phantasma, even though he's the one that's behind this, and he fights him off. So nobody else could, but he could. So we get Velveteen Dream and Keith Lee versus the Undisputed Era, which was Strong and Cole. Bobby Fish was there. Fish tried to interfere, got kicked out, and while the referee was distracted by him, Keith Lee pulling out his black stick and chopping Lee in the throat a couple times or whatever, because Priest wants his stick to measure up to Keith Lee's BBC. have fun on seeing that. So Lee can't breathe. Oh no, he's knocked out, and he's taken out. And then Dream's 2-on-1, and then suddenly smash cut, and here's Dexter Lumis just standing there. I guess it's based off the fact that he was standing there like last week, just staring at the Undisputed Era from like out of like just from somewhere in like the arena, from somewhere in the Performance Center, just somewhere where there happened to be a light on. But anyway, he suddenly, reaches his hand out, takes a tag from Dream, lays out Cole, lays out Strong, and then lays out Cole, and then does a dive on Strong and Fish, who came back to ringside. Dream hits a Purple Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3. I don't know what the fuck I saw. I don't know why Dexter Lumis is a face. I don't know if he's a face. I also don't know why the fuck he doesn't blink. Please blink. Show that you're human. This show was weird. It wasn't bad, but there were some moments I didn't care for, like the Candice Gargano stuff and everything. The show was decent, but I can't say it was something I'm necessarily going to remember, at least not for the right reasons. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.